Hello, I'm Dr. Harper. This video is an Operations Management Aggregate Planning homework video. This is plan number 3, the minimum cost. 3 of 4, this is looking at the minimum cost plan for aggregate planning. So let's bring up the homework. Here are the problems. And so remember the scenario here for aggregate planning homework. We did the level capacity plan, plan 1. We did the chase demand plan, plan 2. And this one we're going to do the minimum cost plan. Okay. Don convenes the second planning meeting after sending your tables to the committee for review. Glinda begins. These tables are very helpful for us to consider alternative plans. Good job. Let's begin looking at this aggregate planning problem in more detail. A lively discussion ensues over your well-constructed tables that quickly led to everyone proposing alternatives. And let me pause right there. The better you can do, the clearer you can make your information communicated. They're not going to talk to you. They're going to talk among themselves to decide what to do. If they start asking you questions, you probably weren't clear enough. And so what you're trying to do is give them information so they can talk to move forward. You don't want them to come back to you. You want them to move forward. Hank begins with a suggestion. Well, since we are considering costs, let's look at a plan based on a minimum total cost objective. Doesn't that seem a logical direction? Everyone agreed. Anticipating this request, you respond, I thought the committee would want to see results from a minimum cost analysis, so I brought a table based on the minimum cost. And you hand out the following table. Now what I have here is just a summary of the values in the table, but then let's actually solve it and get all the values. The first request from your analysis was the total annual cost. What is the total annual cost of the minimum cost plan, which is the cost of the annual regular time production plus the hiring and firing cost and the inventory? So there's the annual regular time production cost. There's the hiring, firing, and carrying cost, and there's the total cost. So let's get these numbers. Okay, let's bring back Excel. And so here's Excel. And remember the first spreadsheet was level capacity, and that was plan 1. The second spreadsheet is chase demand. That was plan 2. So now let's take this, let's copy this over. And now the third one here, let's rename this. And this is going to be the minimum cost. This will be minimum cost. And up here, let's have minimum cost. And there it is. Okay. So now we're going to have a minimum cost. Okay. Well, we have the, let's say a production plan here. We have a production plan, FTEs, hire, fire. But now we have our equilibrium equations for our inventory, but we don't have equilibrium equations for our hire and fire. So we need to add a column here. Okay. And in this column, we need the left-hand side for the hire and fire. And so if you recall the equations, which I did in the lecture, equals the FTEs in the previous time period plus your hire minus the fire minus the FTEs in the current time period. Then we do it again, equals the FTEs in the previous plus the hire minus the fire minus the FTEs in that time period, and we can copy that down. So now we have our left-hand side. Okay. Now from this, now we can generate our, and the left-hand side will control our hiring and firing and our FTEs. Okay. Now somehow we have to make sure that our production, here's our production, and our FTEs are connected with, everything's connected. Okay. And so what we're going to be doing is somehow connect your production, FTEs, hire, fire. All these are connected somehow, some way. Now you can do this in a lot of different ways, and the way I'm going to do it is with the production and hire and fire. So therefore my FTEs have already been calculated, and so my production plan then, so notice these are calculated. My production plan, let's zero these out, that's going to be my decision variable, and then the hire and fire are going to be my decision variables. Okay. Okay. Because the left-hand side has a hire and fire in them. Okay, so now let's go to Excel. Let's go to Solver. There's Solver. And we want this right here, we want to minimize. Now by changing our production plan, comma, and our hire and fire. And there we go. Now we add our constraints. So we have to add our constraints again here. Let's see here. First of all, we want our, let's just say our left-hand side to be equal to 0. Add our ending inventory to be greater than or equal to 0. Add. And then the ending inventory down here is going to equal the ending here of 5,800. Okay. Non-negativity constraints, and make sure we have a simplex algorithm. And then say solve. And there we have found a solution. And there we have our values here. We can come down to here and see that, let's bring this up, and we can see here that we have 25,272,200, 25,272,200. Here we have 25,477, 25,477. Here we have 22,292, and then here we have 71,400, and finally the grand total is 2,646, 2,646, 369, and there's our minimum cost plan. Okay, so this is plan number 3, our minimum cost plan. So now we have plans 1, 2, and 3. I hope this helps. And this is plan 3 of 4, and we have a 4th plan that to go with plans 1, 2, and 3. So this is all I have for this one. I hope this helps, and plan 4 will be in another video. So between now and the next time I see you, I want to urge everyone to be safe and take care.